Vidvanta Vidvamshana Vichakshana Jayatithaka Tanirбhatatam no Hridambare Artikripta Kalpoyam Pratyarthi Gajakesari Yasatirtha Urubhuyad Asmadishtata Siddhaye Tapo Vidya Virakyadi Sadgunavoga Karanam Vadiraja Gurun Mande Hekripadashayan Pujya Raghavendraya Satyadharmarataya Cha Bhatatanga Parukshaya Namatam Kamadhenave Durvadi Dhvantaravaye Vaishnavendi Varendave Shri Raghavendra Grave Namotintayalave Apadmoli Paryantam Gurunamaktım Smare Tena Vignaha Prashyanti Siddhyan Samanorathaha Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Last time we saw how Arjuna poured out his thoughts and expressed that he doesn't want to fight because he is like very hesitant to kill his own very close kith and kin. So Karpanya dosha, that was what actually happened for Arjuna, and he accepted that Karpanya dosho patha subhavaha pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha yat shreyasya nishtam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. So I surrender to you. I do not know what is right thing to do, so please advise me. I am your disciple. And nahi prapashyami mamapanudyat yat shokam uchoshanam indriyanam. So avapya bhumau asapatnam ruddham rajyam suranam apicha adhipatyam. So he says, even the heavens I do not want. Forget about this earthly rajya. So that, and he says that, and Eva muktva Hushikesham Gudakeshaha Parantapaha Na Yotsheti Govindam Uktva Tushnim Babhuvaha. Having uttered these words, he kept silent. And then what happened? Bhagavan Krishna, so Tamuvacha Hushikeshaha Prahasanniva Bharata Shenayor Bhayor Madhye Vishidantam Idam Vachaha. So every word here is very significant, because here he says Hrishikesha, Indriya Niyamaka Paramatma, he is instigating all these thoughts in Arjuna, making him say all these words, and from outside he is advising Arjuna. And so that Hrishikesha Shabda indicates that he is the Indriya Niyamaka. Even Indriya Abhimani Devatas will do as per the orders of Paramatma. So when Arjuna uttered those words, Krishna prahasanniva, he talks as if, he is doing a parihasa of Arjuna. Hey Arjuna, it is not right for you to talk like that. So that is indicated by the word prahasanniva, as if he is laughing at, making fun of Arjuna for his behavior. And senayor ubhayor madhye vishidantam idam vachaha. So for Arjuna, who is despondent and standing in between the two armies, Sri Krishna uttered these words. And the first advisory words that Krishna started the Geetha Upadesha, before that he chastised Arjuna for his words. But here he is telling Arjuna, giving instructions in a very powerful fashion. So the very first instructional statement that Sri Krishna gave to Arjuna is this: Asochya nanyashotastvam prajnavadamscha bhashase gatasun agatasuncha nanushocanti panditaha. So he says, Asochyan anvasochaha tvam prajnavadamscha bhashase gatasun agatasuncha nanushocanti panditaha. For these three words, which are Prajnavadan, Gatasun, Agatasun, for these three words, before Acharya gave the right interpretation, all the ones that came before Acharya, they kind of missed the right interpretation for these words. As far as the other expression is concerned, Asochyan Anvasochaha Tvam. So you are grieving for the people for whom you should not have expressed any sorrow. You are expressing your sorrow for something that you should not do. So that Asochyan Anvasochaha, that one is very straightforward, and that one everybody got it right. But in all the other three expressions, prajnavadamscha bhashase, gatasun, agatasuncha. So, all the commentators prior to Acharya Madhva have translated the arguments made by Arjuna. They are, something that's Panditas, or people, wise people talk like that Arjuna talked. And also they said, according to them, all the commentators prior to Acharya, the act of becoming sorrowful and refraining from the war was not wise, but the arguments put forth by Arjuna were wise. But that would not make sense, because here Karya Karana Bhava, Karya, the effect is that Arjuna refrained from the war. He felt very sorrowful and he refrained from the war. That is the Karya. And that everybody recognized that it is bad and unwise. Then the Karana that Arjuna is giving, the reasoning that he is giving, justifying that action of his, must also be bad or unwise. So this Dharma Sukshma was missed by them all. So Shankaracharya, for example, let us take the primary two major commentators before Acharya Madhva. Shankaracharya told like this: Prajnavadan, Prajnavatam, meaning Buddhimatam, Vadan. So that is the translation he gave. And Gatasun, Gatapranan, Mrutan, the dead people. Asu means prana, because the literal translation that Shankaracharya has taken. Gatasun means Gata pranan. Asu is prana. So Gatasun. So Gata pranan, Mrutan, and Agatasun. Agata pranan, Jivataha. So this is the meaning that Shankaracharya gave. Ramanujacharya felt, okay, why, Prajnavadan, he took kind of similar, but he said, Dehatma Swabhava Prajna Nimitta Vadan. So the Vadas are arguments made by a person who has a good understanding of Deha, Atma, Swabhava. That Prajna is there in the arguments. He's showing all those Prajna, and he also gives the example, Lupta Pindodaka Kriyaha, all those examples that Arjuna uttered, and those are very wise words. So this is what he also, Ramanujacharya interpreted. And Gatasun, he commented it as Dehan. Gatasun means for the bodies, Dehan, and Agatasun, Atmanaha. So this is the understanding that our interpretation Ramanujacharya gave, and Acharya came, and Acharya said, no, these arguments are not the wise arguments. So Acharya said, for Prajnavadan, in Bhashya, he said, Swamanisha Uttha Vachanani. That means whatever came to his mind is a stock. They're not really wise words at all. So Acharya came and gave totally opposite or different meaning, saying the words of Arjuna are not wise at all. He just talked whatever came to his mind. Swamanisha Utta Vachanani. That meaning he gave in Bhashya, and in Tatparya Acharya said, Prakarshena Jananti iti prajnaha tad avadaha. Prajnavadan, he split it as Prajna Avada. And tad avadaha tan, that means Prajnamata Viruddhavadan. So it is actually opposite of what wise people talk about it. So that is the interpretation he gave. Another subtle thing is Arjuna is not crying for the people who are dead, because Gata soon, nobody died. The war has not even started. So Mrutan doesn't arise. The question has not, Arjuna is feeling sad for the dead people, doesn't make sense, because Arjuna is not feeling sad for the dead people. Nobody has died yet. The war has not even started. So Gata soon is a past tense. The people who have sacrificed their lives, nobody has sacrificed their life yet. Nobody is dead yet. So Mrutan is not the right understanding. And then Agata soon is Jivataha. Maybe that may be partially true, but then they said Mrutan and Jivatan. So that comparison aspect missed again. And Ramanujacharya, they said like Dehan for Gatasun, Agatasun Atmanaha, that is bodies and the souls. But here it is Gatasun, Agatasun are at the same platform, it's the same level. So one is a body and Atma. Okay, those arguments Krishna brings forth later, that's fine. But here Krishna is saying Gatasun, Agatasun, he has not even brought the argument of that. Um, for bodies and the soul and all that. So here, Gatasun, Agatasun, that interpretation also doesn't fit the context. So Rayaru, actually Acharya gave in a very subtle fashion, Kutaha, for what reason, and then explains. So Katham, so he says Katham Gatasun. So Katham, how come, why, Asocyan, Anosochaha Katham. And same way, Prajna Avadaha Katham. How they are Prajna Avadas? How means that Gatasun, Agatasun. Here, Rairu elaborates that, say in Geetha Vritti, taking Acharya's words, Rairu says, Gatasun means Asanna Vinashan. Nobody died. Those who are prepared to die. So, and the reason in the past tense is used is to say that it's almost like they're ready to die. The readiness is already happened. That's why past tense, but actually the life itself is not gone out. So that's why Asanna Vinashan, that is the right understanding for the word Gatasun. And then Agatasun Jivataha, but cha iva. So Gatasun, Agatasun cha, just as you don't feel sorry for the people who are still alive, a wise man will not feel sorry for the people who are prepared to die, because they're prepared to die. So they have come to the battlefield, they're going to die. No, that's going to happen because um, whoever are the winners, they will survive. And among the losers, most of the people are going to die. Maybe some may escape, but most of the people are going to die anyway. That's going to happen. So that chakara is iva. So just as agata soon, panditaha yatha na anusochanti, tatha eva panditaha gata soon api na anusochanti. That is what the logic is. So this understanding also missed by the prior commentators. So all the commentators prior to Acharya Madhva commented that Arjuna's words were very wise, like those of a Buddhiman. But Arjuna's words were not those of a Buddhiman. Why? Because there are clear words that it is not right to feel despondent, not right to feel very sad, depressed. All have agreed on that. The effect of Arjuna feeling despondent or dejected is not right, then how can the attributed cause in the form of Arjuna's argument be right and acceptable to the wise men? That is not right. If the effect is wrong or unacceptable to the wise, then the reasoning argument also must be unacceptable to the wise. Is it not? So the wise will never think that killing the haters of Vishnu on the side of Kauravas and the ones fighting on their behalf, on their side, supporting them is adharma. So no wise man will say that. So they will not think like that. So this dharma sukshma never occurred to the ones, to the commentators prior to our Acharya Madhva. So just to give you the real effect of it, just this one concept in a few words, I'll give in our Indian languages so that you know what the real power and gist of it. So, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರಿಗೆ ಮುಂದಿನ ಎಲ್ಲ ವ್ಯಾಖ್ಯಾನಕಾರರು ಅರ್ಜುನನ ಮಾತು ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತರ ಮಾತೆಂದೇ ವ್ಯಾಖ್ಯಾನಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆದರೆ ಅರ್ಜುನನ ಮಾತುಗಳು ಯಾವುದು ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿಕೆ ಮಾತುಗಳಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಶೋಕ ಮಾಡುವುದು ಸರಿಯಲ್ಲ ಎಂದು ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟ ವಚನವಿದೆ, ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಪ್ಪಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕಾರ್ಯ ಅಂದರೆ ಶೋಕ ಮಾಡುವುದು ಸರಿಯಲ್ಲ, ಕಾರಣಗಳು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಜುನನ ವಾದಗಳು ಅವು ಸರಿ ಅಥವಾ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿಕೆ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತರಿಗೆ ಸಮ್ಮತ ಆಗುವುದು ಅದು ಹೇಗಾಗತ್ತೆ? ಅದು ಸರಿಯಲ್ಲ. ಕಾರ್ಯ ತಪ್ಪು ಅಥವಾ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತರಿಗೆ ಅಸಮ್ಮತವೆಂದರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳುವ ಕಾರಣಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತರಿಗೆ ಅಸಮ್ಮತವೇ ಆಗಬೇಕಲ್ಲವೇ? ಕೌರವರ ಪಕ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಭಗವದ್ವೇಷಿಗಳ ಮತ್ತು ಅವರನ್ನು ಬೆಂಬಲಿಸುವವರ ಸಂಹಾರವನ್ನು ಅಧರ್ಮವೆಂದು ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತರು ವಿವೇಕಿಗಳಾದವರು ಯಾರೂ ಭಾವಿಸುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಧರ್ಮ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮ ತೋಚಿಲ್ಲ ఆచార్యులకింత ముందే బందవరికి యారిಗೂ కూడాను. తెలుగులో చెప్పాలంటే ఆచార్య మధ్వులకు ముందొచ్చిన వాళ్ళందరూ వ్యాఖ్యానకారులు అర్జునుడి మాటలు బుద్ధివంతుల మాటలనే వ్యాఖ్యానం చేసినారు. అయితే అర్జునుడి మాటలు ఏవి కూడా బుద్ధివంతుల మాటలు కావు. ఎందుకంటే శోకించడం సరికాదు అని స్పష్టంగా వచనాలున్నాయి. అది అందరూ ఒప్పుకున్నారు. కార్యం అంటే శోకించడం అనే కార్యము సరికాదు. అయితే కారణాలు అర్జునుడి వాదాలు అవి సరిగా ఉన్నాయి అంటే అవి బుద్ధిమంతులకు సమ్మతంగా అవడం అది ఎలా సాధ్యం అవుతుంది? అది సరికాదు. కార్యము తప్పు అథవా బుద్ధిమంతులకు అసమ్మతం అన్నచో దానికి చెప్పేటువంటి కారణాలు కూడా బుద్ధిమంతులకు అసమ్మతం కావాలి కదా. కౌరవుల పక్షంలోనే భగవద్వేషులు మరియు వారికి సహకరించి వారి సంహారము అధర్మమని బుద్ధివంతులు వివేకులు ఎవరు కూడా భావించరు. ఈ ధర్మ సూక్ష్మం తోచలేదు ఆచార్యుల కంటే ముందొచ్చిన వాళ్ళు ఎవరికి అనేది ముఖ్యం. సో आचार्य के पहले सारे व्याख्यानकार अर्जुन के बातें बुद्धिमान बातें ऐसे ही व्याख्यान किए हैं, परंतु अर्जुन की बातें कोई भी बुद्धिमान वचन नहीं है, क्योंकि शोक मनाना ठीक नहीं है। ये तो स्पष्ट वचन है, सब उसे मानते हैं सही। कार्य शोक मनाना ठीक नहीं, किंतु कारण अर्जुन की बातें वो ठीक अथवा बुद्धिमान लोगों के मंजूर कैसे हो सकते हैं? वो ठीक नहीं है। कार्य गलत या बुद्धिमान लोगों के नामंजूर हो तो उसके कारण जो है वो सब भी बुद्धिमान लोगों को नामंजूर होना चाहिए, है ना? कौरव पक्ष वाले भगवत द्वेषी और उनके सहायता करने वालों को संहार करना अधर्म है, ऐसे कोई भी बुद्धिमान ज्ञानी नहीं समझेगा। इस धर्म सूक्ष्म की सुझाव आचार्य के पहले मिला नहीं किसी को भी. आचार्याला पुढे आलते एवढे व्याख्यानकार आहे. अर्जुनाचे गोष्ट बुद्धिवंतांचे गोष्ट म्हणून व्याख्यान तसेच केले ते. आज अर्जुनाची गोष्ट कोणती बुद्धिवंताची गोष्टच नव्ह. कसाल म्हणजे शोक कराचे बरोबर नव्ह. हे स्पष्ट वचन आहे. एवढ जणी एवढे लोकही ओपतात ते. कार्य म्हणजे शोक कराचे बरोबर नाही झाले कारण अर्जुनाचे गोष्ट ते बरोबर आहे अथवा बुद्धिवंत लोक ओपाचे ते कसे होईल ते वाटच नाही. ते बरोबर नव्ह. कार्य चूक आहे अथवा बुद्धिवंत लोकांना ओपत्नी म्हणजे त्याचे कारण कोणतं आहे की ते पण तेवढी बुद्धिवंत लोकांना ओपनास कसा काही ना. ते करता कौरवांचे पक्षांते भगवंताचे द्वेष करणार तसेच त्यांचे सहाय्य करणाऱ्याला संहार करायचे अधर्म असे म्हणून कोणते बुद्धिवंत ज्ञानी मणिंगतनी हे धर्म सूक्ष्मपणे आचार्याला पुढे आलतेनाल कोणाली सुचनी. सो आचार्य मध्वस्य पूर्वभाविनः व्याख्यानकाराः सर्वे अर्जुनस्य वादाः बुद्धिमतां वादाः इत्येव व्याख्यातवन्तः. परन्तु अर्जुनस्य वादः कोऽपि बुद्धिमतां वादः नासीत्. किमिति चेत् कार्यकारणसम्बन्धात्. अर्जुनस्य शोकम् असाधुः इति स्पष्टवचनम् अस्ति. सर्वेपि तद् अङ्गीकुर्वन्ति. शोकरूप कार्यम् असाधुः किन्तु कारणरूप अर्जुनवादाः साधवः अथवा बुद्धिमतां सम्मतवादाः कथं भवेयुः? तदसाधुरेव. कार्यम् असाधुः अथवा बुद्धिमताम् असम्मतं चेत् तस्य कारणरूप अर्जुनवादः अपि असाधुः तथा च बुद्धिमताम् असम्मतं भवितुम् अर्हति न वा? कौरवपक्षगत भगवद्वेषिणां तेषां पक्ष अवलम्बिनां संहार samharam adharmam iti kopi buddhiman jnani va na manyate. Etat dharma sukshmasya suchana acharya madhasya purvam aprapta iti vartate. So this is very, very interesting because this very first sloka that Sri Krishna told, if people miss that, as we go deeper and deeper and deeper, the deep concepts that are given, people would have missed big time, and that we'll also see how it is going to happen. But this is what it is. So Arjuna, when like not spoke all those arguments, people like us may think they are sound like wise arguments, but Sri Krishna never thought that they were anything wise at all. He says they are very, very unwise statements that Arjuna put forward. And now Krishna breaks up the issues one by one. So the analysis, like now the process, how Krishna logically handles, and how we should also learn how to present our thoughts. So Krishna says, okay, the sadness, the depression that Arjuna is going through, what for it is? Is it because of he's worried that the soul is going to die, or is it because the bodies are going to get destroyed, or something else? What is the reason? So Krishna goes point by point. He says, if Arjuna is worried that the souls, Atma, are going to be destroyed, that is not going to happen. So the first argument Krishna puts forth is this: Natvevaham jatunasam natvam neme janadhipaha nachaiva na bhavishyamaha sarve vayam atapparam. He says, Krishna, it is never going to happen that I don't exist, just as my existence, going out of it, never going to happen. That is, everybody knows, and that is given. Just as I never cease to exist, that means I always exist. Same way, all these people, you also are going to exist. Your going out of existence is never going to happen. My going out of existence never happens. In the same way, your going out of existence never happens. And this Janadhipaha, that means all these kings, fighters, rulers, all these people, whoever are there, all those also going to exist at all times. So nachaiva na bhavishyamha sarve vayam atapparam. That means eternally we are beginningless. We are existing now. We will exist in future also. We referring to the Atman. So just as I am eternal, of course, Paramatma is eternal, is given by all the Vedas, all the Shastras, everything is declaring. You may get a doubt. What about, okay, Krishna, you are eternal, but what about me? What about all this, my Bhishmacharya, Dronacharya, my gurus, my elders? What about their souls? If you are worried that Krishna is giving, just as he is giving himself as an example. So, Natu ye, that's why tukara, that tu is avacheda. So that means he's separating himself from the rest. When it comes to his case, it is not a question of subject to argument. It is known, it is well known that Paramatma is eternal. So, natu eva aham jatu na asam. My not being there is not going to happen. Double negative. Why double negative? For one thing, it emphasizes. The second thing, if there is any doubt, the doubt is removed. So if somebody thinks that sometime I am not going to be there, that is wrong, because I am going to be there eternally. So natu eva aham jatu na asam. So this is very, very nice. So the argument that is presented, Krishna is giving himself as an example. Just as I am going to be there at all times, Ishwara Nityatvasya Aprasuttatvat. See, whenever we give an example, like Upmalankara, we say like, that person's face, the mukham is like the moon. The moon is Aprastuta, the face is compared to the moon. The same way here, Krishna is Aprastuta, his eternality is Aprastuta, Ishwara, he is Nitya anyway. But it is Dushtanta, it is an example. So Acharya says, Natvevaham Ishwara Nityatvasya Aprastutatvat Dushtantatvena aha natu eva iti. Yatha aham nityah sarva vedanteshu prasiddhah evam tvam ete janadipaha cha nityaha. All are nityas. Just as I am nitya, you are nitya. That means your soul is nitya. The soul of all these people are nitya. In fact, the souls of all the living beings, even the birds, animals, everything, all the souls are eternal. The souls are all eternal. Why? Because Paramatma is present as Bimbarupa and protecting all the souls to exist eternally. So the details are going to come later on with much details fashion. So that is what the thought process is. So, and if Arjuna is feeling depressed because bandhu snehadi tvaya swadharma nivrutti kriyate tatra dehanasha bhayat kimva chetana nasha bhayat dehasya sarvatha vinashitvat na tatra bhaye prayojanam na cha chetana nasha bhayat tasya avinashitvatvat eva. So the avinashitva, the soul is indestructible. I am as Paramatma, I am indestructible. Paramatma never takes up a gross body. Even in the avatars, always he comes as it is. He is aprakruta, he is non-different from himself, his body, same. He comes himself in all the forms. So for Paramatma, the prakruta deha dharana is not there. For all the other beings, of course, Lakshmi also Nitya Muktalu, but Lakshmi Narayana, apart from them, the rest of the beings, at some point before they get the liberation, they all have to take up the bodies. But their souls are eternal. So if Arjuna's despondency is because of the destruction of the souls, if he thinks that is the cause, that cause is ruled out. So Nityatva is there, Avinashitva is there for all the Chetanas. All the souls are Nitya and Avinashi. Just as Paramatma is Nitya and Avinashi. Paramatma is Nitya and Avinashi. Same way, Arjuna are all the kings, the soldiers, the people, even the animals and all the birds, everything, all the souls of every being on earth, they are all eternal. So that eternality, Nityatva and Avinashitva of all the souls is emphasized here, and Krishna is giving that reason. So if Arjuna, if you are feeling sorry for that, no, that is not the right reason at all. You cannot feel sorry for that. And then if suppose, okay, that is not the reason. Na tavat paramachetanasya mamanasha asti evameva tava anyesham sa nit. So here Krishna, why Krishna's eternality is given as a drushtanta, and based on that example, why, how Krishna is giving all the others are also eternal means the Acharya gives in Tatparya the supporting statements, because Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadhati Kaman Ityadi Shrutehe. The Shrutivakya he gives and he says, he is Nitya among all the Nityas. He is Chetana among all Chetanas. That means all the Chetanas are Nityas. And Paramatma is Nityo Nityanam. What does it mean? Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. All the others, Nityatva and Chetanatva, are dependent upon Paramatma. See, he is Swatantra. So Paramatma's Nityatva and Chetanatva are Swatantra and also infinite. Whereas the Nityatva and Chetanatva of the Jivas, they are Anumatras, but they are Nitya and Chetanas, but they are also Aswatantra. Paramatma, because of Paramatma's grace only, they are Nitya, and that's why Paramatma is described as Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. Because of Paramatma, they are Nitya and they are Chetanas. They have Chaitanya. That's why Paramatma is said Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidhati. That's why he is called Ekaha Pradhanaha. So Swadeha Yoga Vigamau Nama Janma Mruti Pura Ishyete hi Eva Jivasya Muktehe Natu Harehe Kvachit. So this is, what is birth? What is death? As you know, like if somebody has a birth and death, is the birth for the body? Body is jada, so body cannot have birth. And what is death? Is the body is going to die, means body is jada always. It doesn't have any time, you know, okay, that when Chetana is there, we say the body is alive. That is because of the Chetana, the body is alive. But the body by itself is jada. So the nasha, death is not there for body. And Chetana, our soul is Nitya, so death is not there going to be Chetana also. So if that is the case, birth and death are for whom? What is birth and death? So the birth is nothing but the body and the soul coming together is the birth, and the body and the soul getting separated is the death. That is the definition of birth and death. So that is why here स्वदेह योग विगमौ नाम जन्म मृति पुरा इष्येते हि एव जीवस्य मुक्तेः न तु हरेः क्वचित्. So this deha yoga viyogas are never there for Paramatma. Harehe kvachit na. So for him, this deha yoga viyogas, which are nothing but the janma and mruti. Deha samyoga or yoga is janma, that is getting the body, and getting out of the body or losing the body is the mruti. So yoga vigamo nama janma mruti. So but for Paramatma never is going to happen. Only for jivas this is how it's happened. That is up to muktehe, only until the mukti. Once they go to liberated, again the deha yoga viyogas are not there for the liberated souls. Until the liberation, the jivas can have deha yoga viyogas, which are janma and mruti. But for Paramatma, he is nitya mukta and swatantra. Lakshmi is nitya mukta but aswatantra. So this is the special differentiation that we have to know. So Ishwarasya api yuddhagatatvat moha tasya api ubhayavidha anityatva shanka prapto tadapi nivaryate natu eva hamiti. So Paramatma is not like others. So he is standing in the battlefield. So people may think, oh, just like others, others lose the body. Krishna also can lose the body. If somebody thinks like that, no, that's wrong. Because for Paramatma, there is never deha viyoga. That's never going to happen for Paramatma. So that is also clarified by that expression natvevaham, natu eva aham, that tukara. So he is different. So yadyapi esha sanka arjunasya nasti. Even though Arjuna does not have that doubt, some other people, ignorant people can have that kind of a doubt. So to remove the doubt for all the people, this is how it's expressed. So this is a very, very powerful sloka. And I think I'll stop here so that if there are any questions, I will answer those questions. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. If there are no more questions, we'll continue in the next session. Hare Srinivasa. In the next session, we are going to talk about Dehanasha Bhaya. Now, Arjuna may have Atmanasha Bhaya that is completely removed by this sloka, and the next sloka removes the Dehanasha Bhaya, and the sloka after that talks about the Abhimana Tyaga. So, in 3 slokas, in fact, the entire central concept is given in these 3 slokas. The sloka that we covered today, it talked about the meaninglessness of Atmanasha Bhaya because it is Nitya. So Atmanasha Bhaya should not be there. That is what is explained today. And in the next class, we are going to talk about the Dehanasha Bhaya, how the Dehanasha Bhaya should not be there, the body getting destroyed, that fear, because it is, we cannot help. What cannot be cured must be endured. So, because it is going to happen anyway, so it's meaningless to worry about sarvatha vinashitva. So dehasya sarvatha vinashitva. The body is going to destroy because panchabhutas, it came out of panchabhutas, is going to go and join panchabhutas again. So in case of the sorrow coming out of the loss of body, it is meaningless because the bodies are going to be destroyed anyway. And the destructibility of the body, how the logic is presented, that we are going to talk about in the next class. Hare Srinivasa.
Hello. So can you hear me?
Hello? Yeah.
I'm just checking if there are any questions on this one. My YouTube got disconnected. Just trying this. I don't see any questions. ವಿಠೋಬಾಚಾರ್ಯ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಏನೋ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಇತ್ತು, ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ವಿಠೋಬಾಚಾರ್ಯ, ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ.
ಓಕೆ.
ಹಲೋ ಮನೋಜ್, ವಿಠೋಬಾಚಾರ್ಯ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದಾರಾ?
ಅವರಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಇನ್ನು?
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬಂದ್ರು ಅವ್ರು ಊರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರು, ಸೊ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಏನೋ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಇತ್ತು. ಓಕೆ, ಮನೋಜ್ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? ಹಲೋ ಮನೋಜ್, ಹಲೋ, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಸರ್, ಒಂದ್ ನಿಮಿಷ, ನಾನು ಮನೋಜ್ಗೆ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಅವ್ರದ್ದೇನ If somebody want to ask any question, they can post the question on YouTube. We will refer that.
I myself will raise one question and then I'll answer that question while they're waiting. So the one question that can come to our mind is, if Krishna is given as a drishtanta for being Nitya, and that means we should have established before this itself that Krishna is, or Paramatma is Nitya, Ishvara is Nitya. So how are we establishing that Paramatma is Nitya? Where is it coming from? If we say, oh, Shrutivakya, Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam, because of the Shrutivakya, Paramatma is Nitya is given, means the same Shrutivakya is also saying Nityo Nityanam. That means that Nityatva, all the Jivas are also Nitya and all the Jivas are Chetana. That is there in Shrutivakya also. Shrutivakya, when it is telling Paramatma is Nitya, the same Shrutivakya is also telling Jivas are Nitya. So why should this sloka establish taking Krishna as an example and Jivas are Nitya? Because it's already there in the Shrutivakya. If we are using the Shrutivakya to say that Krishna is Nitya and he is using an example, then the same Shrutivakya is also telling Jivas are Nitya. So why should we establish that Jivas are Nitya and taking Krishna as an example? If that question is raised, the Shrutivakya is says Nityo Nityanam Chetanas. So Parama is Paramanitya, Paramachetana. Jivas are just Nitya and Chetana. That means it may be Aupacharika. Maybe they are maybe partially, like Dirghas, for example, they may be like, say, billion years, trillion years. Maybe jivas are there for a very long time, so they are somewhat nitya, somewhat chetana, but Paramatma is definitely fully nitya and fully chetana. If somebody gets that doubt, to remove that doubt, no, jivas are also completely fully nitya. So this sloka will give unconditionally, saying it is never going to happen that you going out of existence or these people going out of existence. That is never going to happen. So this nitya, Paramatma is Paramanitya and jivas are somewhat nitya is not the case. Of course, Paramatma is Paramanitya, means Swatantrena nitya. Jivas are also nitya only, but Aswatantra nityas, that's all. But there is it's never going to happen that jivas will go out of existence. That's never going to happen. So it is not a aupacharika nityatva for jivas. It is a definite nityatva for jivas also. So to emphasize that, it is mentioned, this sloka is clarifying, taking Krishna as Drishtanta, Paramatma as Drishtanta or example, and saying jivas are also nitya all the time. So this is what is conveyed here.
I think those are the two questions which were there. I think Vitobachar has also joined, but he was unable to join earlier. Vitobachar, ನಿಮ್ದು ಹೇಳ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಇದೈತೆ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ನಿಮ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಏನಾರು ಇತ್ತಾ ವಿಟೋಬಚಾರ? ನಿಮ್ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಸರ್? ಹಲೋ, ವಿಟೋಬಚಾರ
ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ನಾನೊಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಒಂಚೂರು ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ನಂಗೆ ಗಮನ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ.
ಅದೇ ಇನ್ಯಾವ್ದು ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದೆ, ಇನ್ಯಾವ್ದು ಇದ್ದಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಸೆಷನ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಮನೋಜ್ ಇದೀರಾ? ಹಲೋ
ಹಲೋ.
ಯಾರು ಮನೋಜ್ ಮಗನ?
ಅಂಕಲ್, ಅಪ್ಪ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಚೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ರು.
ಸೆಷನ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನ.
ಸೆಷನ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ?
ಲೈವ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರದ.
ಮಾಡ್ದೆ.
ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಎಂಡ್ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್